some of the issues. There are environmental problems that are affected with beef eating. There are health problems. There are hunger problems all over the world. And also, let's discuss ethics. Why we shouldn't eat beef. Environmental problems. Half of rainforest cutting is just because people need to create land for beef ranches. And we all worry about rainforests, but actually it is caused just because we like to eat beef. Also, agricultural inefficiency. Half of the total world's grain is eaten just by cows that are slaughtered for their beef. Soil erosion. I talked with my father. He said 1 pound of beef results in loss of 35 pounds of soil. He picked it up from Alan B. Durning of the World Watch Institute. Also, air pollution. Cows emit methane, contributing 18% of the total greenhouse gases. But today, since cows are fed more to make them fatty and so they can be slaughtered, more methane results from that process. And also, since my father is an hydrologist, he said 50% of the water pollution is caused just by fertilizers used in feed grain production. Why I say feed grain production? Because the grain that is grown in fields is then fed to cows that are yet to be slaughtered. So instead of giving that grain to cows, why shouldn't we take those grains? Also, let's think about our health. We also need to be healthy. We all consider every meat product to have lots of protein. But according to this, beef has the lowest protein. And I refer to usable protein here. Per acre yield of usable protein. If you grow an acre of soybeans, 350 yields of protein will result. And it gets smaller and smaller until you get to beef, which is only 25 per acre yield of usable protein. Also, antibiotics are given to cows, fed to veal, because the veal gets sick so often, and that results in resistant bacteria. Resistant bacteria enters the beef, and when we intake the beef, that resistant bacteria enters our body and causes many diseases to us. The mad cow disease, some of you may have heard of it. It is bovine spongiform encephalopathy and arose in Britain among 159,000 cattle. This disease in cows, when it is transformed into beef, results in CJD, or a fatal human brain disease for the humans. And also, more than 1 billion people live in poverty today. 20 vegetarian can be fed on the land taken to feed 1 meat eater. So that means if we became vegetarians, it would be much easier to produce grains and soybeans on land that are taken to feed beef to people. Also, 1.3 billion could be fed if all the soybeans and grains just fed to the US livestock were set aside for humans. So it's much simpler and much better, much efficient to eat vegetables rather than beef. Also, according to the Bible, Genesis 1.2124, each animal has a nefesh chaya, or a Hebrew word meaning soul. If an animal has a soul, then we have no right to kill the animal. Also, one of his 10 commandments was, thou shalt not kill. Some interpreters have translated it as thou shalt not murder, but kill refers not just to humans, but also to animals. Also, the Bhagavad Gita, which is an Indian Vedic scripture, it's non-sectarian. According to it, we all have 7 mothers, and that includes mother cow. Mother cow is our mother because she supplies milk to us, like our real mothers supply milk from their breasts. Also, here are some great vegetarians. George Bernard Shaw, he said, while we ourselves are the living graves of murdered beasts, how can we expect any ideal conditions on this earth? So if politicians talk about peace, they have to consider the fact that if we want peace, we have to give peace to the animals also. Einstein, nothing will benefit human health and increase the chances of survival of life on Earth as much as the evolution to a vegetarian diet. Why he said this? because he himself experienced these in his life, like George Bernard Shaw. Also, Gandhi, his principle was ahimsa, or non-violence. Non-violence does not refer just to the other human societies, but also to the animals, because the animals are just like us. I do feel that spiritual progress does demand at some stage that we should cease to kill our fellow creatures for the satisfaction of our bodily wants. Now, my humble request to all of you is try to slowly reduce your beef consumption. And that will help not only the environment, but it will help others also, the other community, the people that are all over the world are hungry just because they don't get enough food. And also think twice before you pick up your next beef package in any store. And I have a vegetarian cookbook for you if you want to try one, The Higher Taste. This is a renowned book, a guide to gourmet vegetarian cooking and a karma-free diet. Here, I'll put it for you. Just token money if you want it. And also, I have some cards for you that I would like to pass around. Free vegetarian dinner. It gives you the address. It's just by my home. There's a nice building, and we distribute free vegetarian dinners to propagate vegetarianism. I'd like to pass it from this way, out the card, and pass that way. Also, don't just think this is a classroom presentation. I presented this because I myself experienced how beef results in the whole world. How beef makes the environment, it makes the earth, all the resources that the earth has, it makes them get depleted and polluted. Thank you all. Remember, this is just a saying, you are what you eat. But there's an essential principle behind this, that if we eat cows, we will also have to suffer, because we are causing so much suffering to the cows. And do you guys have any questions or comments? And just before I go, let me try to one more time go before the Slaughterhouse movie. And I apologize for hurting anybody's feelings, because beef is, something, a hot issue all over the world, actually. So let's go back there.